Hi guys, we're from the First Post Mumbai General Desk. My name is Anshu.
And I'm Utkarsh.
And we're here to discuss how First Post covered some of the most important news stories of 2017. So the Uttar Pradesh elections took place in February-March 2017. And as we were covering the elections, first off, we ran a lot of live blogs on the issue. And apart from live blogs, we also had reporters on ground telling us what the situation in various areas of Uttar Pradesh were like. Now, because Uttar Pradesh is a very populous state, right, this is not a very easy thing to do because we had and therefore we had reporters covering from several parts of the state. And what we realized is, I guess what everybody else realized also, is that Modi government's demonetization move did not really affect the BJP's popularity that much. Now, we did something similar for Gujarat. For Gujarat also we had live blogs being run. We also had reporters on the ground. What we discovered in Gujarat was that the condition of some of the weaker sections in the society, like Dalits and women in even some of the more developed parts of Gujarat, are A, underreported, and B, not really as good as we thought they were.
And another thing that we managed to do with elections was, because so many of these are number stories, in a sense, what communities are voting for what leaders. So we managed to take advantage of the digital platform that we have, and we had a lot of infographics and a lot of data stories around the issue. After that, we also covered the whole Supreme Court, the two major Supreme Court verdicts which came out this year. The first was on the right to privacy. The right to privacy, of course, you all know it's like one of the biggest judgments that have come out maybe this decade, even going back. But it affects everything from how we view homosexuality to what we eat to Aadhaar PAN linkage, everything.
Right.
So for that, obviously, we needed a lot of expert voices on the issue. We had a lot of lawyers coming in, a lot of policy experts coming in. We did Facebook Lives with them to understand what was the impact of the judgment as such. There's also the triple talaq verdict, for which we had similar treatments. We had Facebook Lives on it. We had a lot of experts coming in, weighing in, but how it really transforms the rights that women have in the Muslim community.
And whether it will make any actual impact on the condition of Muslim women in India, and whether criminalizing the practice of triple talaq is right or not. We had a lot of opinion on that also. Yeah. And apart from these stories in India, there was also a lot of stuff happening all over the world which affected India, and one of the most important events which happened in the world was the Rohingya crisis. Now, the Rohingya have been facing oppression for a long time, but with the current crisis that began at around August, when the Rohingya militants attacked 30 police posts, and there was retaliation when their villages were burnt down in the Rakhine state. We had a lot of opinion going up on this crisis because this is a controversial crisis. One of the most important questions that was asked on over this crisis is was on the issue of the entry of Rohingya Muslim refugees in India. And while there was a lot of opinion being put out there in the media with respect to whether they should be allowed or not, First Post, I think, was one of the few news organizations which presented both sides of the argument, irrespective of what you think about the issue.
So those were the three major stories that we wanted to talk about, but there was so much else that went on. There was the Elphinstone Road stampede that happened, which killed, I think, 23 people at last count.
Right.
There was the Gorakhpur hospital tragedy, in which scores of children died because proper medical facilities were not available.
Given, yeah.
Then the Supreme Court also declared that marital rape would be illegal if the victim was a minor. And we, again, are all around these issues. We tried to give you some breaking news around these when they broke, and also analysis after, when we had a little more perspective on them. I think that's all from the Mumbai desk. Thank you so much for watching.
Hi, I'm Nitish and this is Akshita, and we are from the First Post General Desk in Delhi.
I think we can start with the #MeToo campaign, which snowballed into a major debate and encouraged women to bond over a common grievance, that of being victims of sexual assault and harassment. So at First Post, I think we looked at how feminism is viewed in urban India. We also saw how
different perspectives to it, and how, like, even the Raya Sarkar list that came up, and how it was related, and how the academia in India approached the problem.
We saw how men reacted to the campaign. We saw how sexual assault is becoming a raging epidemic, not just in India, but throughout the globe, through the responses of thousands of women.
Being in Delhi, like, we cannot ignore the Delhi smog that's been there, and we've been stuck in this gas chamber for a long time now, and it's become albeit an annual problem, with the stubble burning in nearby states, and which adds to the already worst pollution in the world. So we've seen a lot of radical solutions being offered, and by the
Delhi government.
Yeah, like the odd even, or the anti-smog gun, and the like dropping water from helicopters and all.
But been
And
taken.
through it all, like on First Post, we covered like from ground reports to live blogs. Like
We talked to policy experts. We had reporters sending in images and videos from the field, and
we even we realized through the analysis that the problem might not just be a policy paralysis on behalf of the Delhi government. It's an interstate issue, and the centre might also be required to do something about it.
I think the Dokla standoff in
definitely,
Sikkim, which we cannot ignore.
Yeah.
The 73-day standoff between Indian and Chinese troops was triggered when Beijing tried to make a road in the border area.
Yeah.
So, like, to cover the issue, we had a lot of ground reports from there. We had a series of ground reports to look at how the region where the standoff was happening is coping up, and we also had people from Bhutan, experts from Bhutan, telling us what their country's position was in the issue. The 2G verdict.
Yeah, the recent verdict where some people are seeing it as a vindication of the UPA government and the corruption allegation that was there, which ultimately they claim that brought down the UPA government. And recently the court ruled and acquitted all the accused in the case, and because of that we have come to this juncture where a political disruption we are seeing, and on First Post we analyzed all perspectives of it.
On the day of the verdict we ran a live blog.
Yeah.
Then from there we went on to opinion pieces of how the verdict.
From explainers to opinion pieces to understanding party-wise perspectives. Other than that, like many other topics which we probably won't be able to cover today, but which cannot be
ignored.
Like it was Donald Trump's year. Donald Trump became the president, and since then it's been a non-stop show. And other than that,
we had the Gorkhaland agitation and the Gauri Lankesh assassination.
Even Nawaz Sharif's ouster. Or Cyclone Okhi recently. But these were some of the major breaking news points and throughout the year, and this is how we covered it. I thank you so much for watching.
That's it from us.